Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. I bid upon the organizer and today's conference participants. My name is Nurul Saidatus Shaja'ah Shahril, and today I'm going to present a research study titled as Parental Stress and Depression Symptoms Among B40 Wife of Drug Addicts in Malaysia, Resilience as Mediator, which is conducted in Malaysia. Together with me is my research team, which are Dr. Zarinah Arshat and Mr. Haikal Anuar Adnan, and we are from the Department of Human Development and Family Studies, Faculty of Human Ecology, University Putra, Malaysia. So without further ado, let's move on to the general structure of this study. This abstract summarizes the overall picture and process of this research, which consists of objective of this study, the method used, the results and findings, and lastly the implication of the study. So today I'm going to bring the participants to go through the presentation flow from introduction until the conclusion of the study. I'm going to introduce the background of this study based on the statistics reported by WHO, in which a huge number of 264 million people suffering from depression all over the world. In drug addict family, the functional role of the husband has abandoned their wife with many responsibilities, including breadwinning, child caretaking, cooking, and doing house chores. While a national survey reported that females and adults from low-income families are at risk of mental health problems, wife from B40 income category is included in the study. Besides, the existing studies also more focused on exploring the economic issue they face, ignoring parenting difficulties they might struggle with. Thus, the study aimed to investigate the depression and its associating factors, including parental stress and resilience concerning B40 wife of drug addicts in Malaysia as an at-risk group. This study is primarily aimed to determine the association between parental stress, resilience, and depression among B40 wife of drug addicts in Malaysia, and the second one is to determine the role of resilience as mediating factor between parenting stress and depression among B40 wife of drug addicts in Malaysia. So this is the conceptual framework for this study, illustrating the association between study variables. Moving on to the research methodology, we use quantitative approach method. We employ a cross-sectional design and questionnaire-based survey method. By using purposive sampling method, 132 respondents were selected based on a listed criteria. The sample size is determined using G-Power software. Our study adopts three main instruments that are parental stress scale, brief resilience scale, and self-rating depression scale, which is all are in the range of good reliability. All instruments are permitted to be used by the original authors. This slide pictures the flow of data collection procedure of this study. So firstly, permission from National Anti-Drugs Agency and ethical approval from UPM is obtained. After that, respondents were contacted. Secondly, the researchers get the information of the wife from clients at the rehabilitation center. And after that, the respondents were contacted and explained regarding the research. Next, we distributed the questionnaires through online and offline platform. And lastly, we collect the questionnaire before proceeding for the data analysis stage. So we have reached to the highlight part of the study, which is data analysis and findings. As you can see here, the demographic profile of the respondents comprised of their age, education level, marriage duration, and numbers of children aged 17 years and below that living together. So the majority of the respondents aged from 31 to 40 years old completed upper secondary school, and most of them also have been married for 6 to 10 years. And lastly, most of the respondents have three children that living together. So in structural equation modeling, there are two important models that to be analyzed, that are measurement model and structural model. So the first model here is assessed to evaluate the assumptions and of reliability and validity of construct used in the study. So it includes three criteria that are construct validity, convergent validity, and discriminant validity. As shown in a table, all criteria has fulfilled the assumption through the composite reliability, AVE value, and discriminant validity values presented. According to Fornell and Lacker, item with AVE value less than 0.5 is acceptable when the composite reliability is above the threshold, that is 0.6, indicating sufficient convergent validity. However, some of the items in these three constructs were deleted due to very loading factor loading. So next we move to the second model assessment, which carried out to estimate and test causal relationship between these variables. To detect any multicollinearity issue, VIF value is assessed and passed the threshold, which is 5, showing no issue of multicollinearity. So the mediation analysis shows the result for direct and indirect relationship between the study variables. Table 5 presents a significant relationship between all variables, in which parental stress show positive correlation to depression, while resilience show negative correlation to both parental stress and depression. Next, table 6 show the indirect relationship of parental stress and depression through resilience, and resulted in significant relationship as mediated by resilience. As a summary, there is two key findings for this study that are: the first one, there is significant association between parental stress, resilience, and depression, and the second one is resilience play role as a partial mediator in association between parental stress and depression. So these two findings align with the previous studies across many contexts of research as described in a slide. So our findings highlighted that resilience is important in connecting the relationship of parental stress and depression. Besides, parental stress and resilience are also found to be both crucial in influencing depression symptoms in B40 wife of drug addicts in Malaysia. As a conclusion, our study has several limitations that are small sample size and non-probability sampling, which hinder from making a generalization based on the study findings. Besides, this study only involved intrapersonal factors that are parental stress and resilience. However, we should emphasize the strength of this study in which we use quantitative approach, where past local studies more focus on qualitative study on exploring the well-being of wife of drug addicts in Malaysia. In addition, these findings also help the professional to build a resilience intervention program involving in this community in order to improve their capability in facing life challenges and to reduce the risk of psychological disorder. Based on the study limitation and strength, It is recommended to the future researchers to involve wife of drug addicts from all states in Malaysia for Secondly, to employ probability sampling method for a better generalization. And lastly, the future researcher could consider exploring the well-being of wife of drug addict while living with the husband to see any differences, possibilities of parental stress, resilience, and depression. Before I end this presentation, I would like to express my special thanks to my research team in making this study a success. That's all for this presentation. Thank you so much for your kind